Have you ever felt as if the entire universe had been waiting for you to arrive at one exact moment? I'm not talking about some vague idea of destiny. I'm talking about that deep, unexplainable certainty that everything you've lived up to now was training for something so significant you don't even have language for it yet. Let me tell you something that may send chills through your body. That moment has arrived. And within the next 24 hours of 11 to 11, something is going to happen to you that has never happened before in your life. Something so powerful, so deeply transformative, that God Himself is going to pause and observe you. And He will cry, not from sorrow, not from pity for your past pain, but from pride. Because you are finally going to understand why everything unfolded the way it did. Those nights of isolation were necessary. Those losses that shattered you were measured with divine precision. Every time you cried out, "Why me?" and heaven stayed silent, it wasn't abandonment, it was preparation. They were waiting for this precise moment to answer you. And that answer is arriving within the next 24 hours of the 11 to 11 portal in a way so clear, so undeniable, so perfectly aligned that you will fall to your knees when you grasp the magnitude of what God prepared specifically for you. Subscribe to this channel right now and turn on all notifications, because what I'm about to reveal. Why 11 to 11 is your personal date, why the past months unfolded exactly as they did, and what is about to change forever in the next 24 hours, will make every piece of your story finally click into place. Stay until the end, because I'm going to show you the exact moment that caused the angels to convene an emergency meeting, triggering a celestial sequence that culminates precisely in this 11 to 11. So what is the gift waiting for you as God watches with tears of pride flowing down His face? Write 1111 in the comments if you feel you're standing on the edge of something enormous and need confirmation that you're not imagining it. But before I reveal what will happen in the next 24 hours of 11 to 11, you must understand something about this portal, something that changes everything. When you truly grasp it, every second of suffering you endured will transform into proof of your greatness. Let me explain what 11 to 11 really is. I'm not talking about pretty numerology or a simple calendar coincidence. I'm revealing real spiritual mechanics that function whether you believe in them or not. 11 to 11 is a mathematical gateway in the fabric of reality, a moment when the veil between dimensions thins so much that what was impossible yesterday becomes inevitable today. What makes this portal different from any other moment of the year is this: it represents finalization and beginning at the same time. Imagine a revolving door. As you exit one version of yourself, you are simultaneously entering the next. There is no gap, no void between who you were and who you're becoming. The transition is instant. And here's what no one ever told you: this portal does not open for everyone. It opens only for souls who have completed a preparation cycle. And do you know how the universe knows you completed yours? By something you did exactly 11 days ago, without even realizing it. Pay close attention, because this is going to resonate so deeply it may feel like I'm reading from your private journal. 11 days ago, sometime between afternoon and evening, you faced a decision that appeared insignificant but revealed everything about who you truly are. It wasn't dramatic. No fireworks. Just a quiet choice you made almost automatically. Someone asked you for something. An opportunity appeared. You had to choose between what was easy and what was right. And even though you were tired, even though no one would have known if you chose differently, even though you had every justification to take the shortcut, you chose integrity. Maybe you returned money no one would have noticed was missing. Maybe you told the truth when a lie would have been easier. Maybe you helped someone when you were exhausted. Maybe you forgave when you had every reason to hold resentment. The detail doesn't matter. What matters is that in that small, unseen moment, without applause, without witnesses, you demonstrated something that made all of heaven stop. You proved your character is fully formed. When the angels who oversee human development recorded that choice, When they saw you act with integrity without any external incentive, they activated a specific celestial protocol. Your name was placed on the list of souls ready to cross the 11 to 11 portal. Because this is how real spiritual evolution works. You don't advance when you learn something new. You advance when what you learned becomes automatic. Anyone can memorize principles, but mastery is when those principles guide you effortlessly, even under pressure. A student can memorize formulas, but a true physicist thinks in physics without effort. A spiritual person can understand goodness and forgiveness, but the chosen one lives those values instinctively, even when tired, unseen, or tempted. And 11 days ago, without knowing you were being evaluated, you passed the final exam. Now let me tell you what happened immediately after that choice, and this will explain some strange things you may have noticed since then. The moment you demonstrated automatic integrity, a specific archangel was assigned to you. Not a standard guardian angel, everyone has those. This was a high-level archangel whose sole purpose for the next 11 days was to prepare you for the 11 to 11 crossing. How did it prepare you? By removing obstacles you no longer need. Think about the past 11 days. Notice how certain problems resolved themselves. How toxic people drifted away without conflict. How anxiety that once consumed you suddenly weakened. This wasn't coincidence. It was celestial cleansing. When your name enters the 11 to 11 list, archangels receive authorization to intervene directly, not to override free will, but to remove interference. That person who abruptly stopped contacting you, their interest was dissolved. That tempting opportunity that felt off? It was closed before it could trap you. That financial stress that haunted your nights? You were given unexpected clarity. All of this was preparation. Because what's arriving in the next 24 hours requires you to be energetically clear. You cannot step into a new frequency while carrying the weight of an old one. And here's the part that will move you to tears. While the archangel was clearing your field, God Himself was preparing your gift. This is not symbolism. God gave you personal attention. Out of billions of prayers, countless crises, infinite moving parts in the universe, at some point in the last 11 days, God paused and focused on you. Not to judge you, not to test you, but to personalize the blessing. Because once your character is complete, God no longer needs to check if you'll misuse what you receive. He already knows you won't. And only then can He give you what He's wanted to give you all along, without it destroying you. That gift arrives in the next 24 hours of 11 to 11. And God will cry when delivering it, not from weakness, but from power. Divine tears are creative force. When God cries from pride, reality rearranges itself. Those tears saturate your energy with a frequency that causes everything you touch to align with your highest purpose. Relationships begin to flow. Finances unstuck themselves. Opportunities open, not because you changed externally, but because your internal frequency was altered by divine pride. The moment will come suddenly. You'll be doing something ordinary, working, eating, maybe sleeping, and you'll feel a fullness in your chest. Not pain, but expansion. And without logic, without words, you'll know, God is here. The gift has arrived. You may not see it externally yet, but internally you'll feel a shift so absolute you will never be the same. And your own tears will fall, merging energetically with God's, creating a bond that cannot be broken. From that moment on, forces that once affected you will no longer have access. The gift itself has 3 components, each chosen based on what you suffered most. First, restoration, not of material things, but of soul fragments lost through trauma, betrayal, abandonment. They return healed, upgraded, complete. Second, reopening of paths you believed were permanently closed. Dreams you let go of, opportunities that slipped away, relationships that ended. You're not going backward, you're moving into a superior version that was always waiting. Third, activation of a dormant gift. A talent, ability, or perception that couldn't surface before because the timing was wrong. In the next 24 hours, it activates naturally, effortlessly. When restoration, opening, and activation align, reality reconfigures instantly. Like putting on 3D glasses and suddenly seeing a dimension that was always there. The 11 to 11 portal is those glasses. After crossing, there will be a testing period, not as punishment, but calibration. Over the next 30 days, situations will arise to see if you maintain your new frequency. Provocations, temptations, old patterns knocking. These are not attacks. They are adjustments. If you choose the new frequency consistently, the gift becomes permanent. Not something you received, but something you are. And now the deepest truth. God's tears are not only pride, they are relief. God watched every fall, every loss, every lonely night. And just like a parent watching a child learn to walk, God couldn't stop the falls because they were necessary. Now, as you cross the portal, the suffering finally reveals its purpose. And that relief releases a frequency so strong that others will feel it in your presence. You become living proof, not through words, but through energy. This moment is scheduled between 11:11 a.m. and 11:11 p.m. When it arrives, all doubt dissolves. You will know you were never abandoned. The gift is personalized. Whatever you sacrificed to maintain integrity, God saw it. And the compensation doesn't replace it. It surpasses it completely. What you lost was preparation. What you receive is the upgrade. After crossing, a brief, fertile void follows, 48 hours of internal reorganization. Emotions may surface. Fatigue may come. This is not regression. It is final liberation. On the third day, clarity arrives. Peace stabilizes. Intuition sharpens. This becomes your new baseline. And finally, the truth of who you are. Before incarnating, your soul agreed to activate during this specific 11 to 11. Humanity is at a crossroads, and transformation needs living examples. You are one of them. Your crossing is not just personal, it is collective. And when enough of you activate, fear loses ground and hope regains power. This is why everything happened. If you made it this far and feel this is your moment, write 111 in the comments. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and share this with someone who feels the same pull, because chosen ones activate together. Together, we are stronger. There is something no one ever warns you about once the 11 to 11 portal closes behind you. Not because it is dangerous, but because it is sacred. And only those who truly cross experience it. After the activation settles, after the tears dry, after the internal transformation stabilizes, something subtle but undeniable begins to happen around you. The world starts responding differently to your presence. At first, you might think you are imagining it. People look at you a second longer than usual. Conversations soften when you speak. Conflicts de-escalate without effort. Doors open that you didn't knock on. Respect appears where resistance once lived. This is not charisma. This is not confidence. This is frequency recognition. Every human being operates on an unconscious energetic radar. And once your frequency is recalibrated through the 11 to 11 crossing, that radar begins picking you up differently. You are no longer read as someone searching. You are read as someone anchored. Here is the hidden truth. After the portal, you stop chasing alignment, alignment starts finding you. You will notice that situations now reorganize themselves around your boundaries. You will say, no, once, calmly, without explanation, and it will be accepted. You will walk away from things that once hooked you emotionally, and they will lose power instantly. Old triggers no longer activate the same reaction. Not because you are suppressing them, but because they no longer match who you are. This is when you understand something profound. The portal didn't give you strength. It removed the illusion of weakness. And now comes the part that only chosen ones experience. After the crossing, there will be a brief phase where silence becomes louder than noise. You will crave less stimulation, less explanation, less validation. You may withdraw slightly, not from life, but from chaos. This is not isolation. This is consolidation. Your nervous system is recalibrating to peace. You will realize that urgency disappears. Things that once felt, now or never, suddenly feel unnecessary. You no longer rush outcomes because you can feel, deep in your body, that what is meant for you is already moving. And this is critical. During this phase, do not over-explain yourself. People who are not calibrated to your new frequency will feel it, and some will react unconsciously. Not with attacks necessarily, but with confusion. They may ask questions that don't make sense. They may try to pull you back into old emotional contracts. They may suddenly seek reassurance. This is not malice. It is disorientation. When your frequency upgrades, unresolved frequencies feel exposed in your presence. Your role is not to fix them. Your role is to remain coherent. Because something extraordinary is now happening behind the scenes. After the 11-11 activation, the universe begins rerouting timelines toward you. Opportunities that were never for you before, now become available because you can hold them. Connections that once would have destabilized you now feel neutral or supportive. Responsibilities increase, but so does capacity. You will notice that when you commit to something now, reality responds faster. Less resistance, less friction. This is because your internal alignment reduced energetic leakage. You are no longer negotiating with yourself. And this is when your true assignment begins. You were not activated merely to improve your own life. That was necessary, but it was not the final purpose. Your stability becomes a stabilizing force for others. Not through preaching, not through convincing, but through resonance. People will feel calmer around you without knowing why. They will trust you instinctively. They will open up unexpectedly. And in those moments, your presence alone becomes medicine. This is why your suffering had to be precise. This is why your preparation could not be skipped. This is why the portal opened only when it did. Because now, when you speak, your words carry weight. When you choose, reality listens. When you walk away, the lesson completes itself. And here is the final confirmation. If as you hear this bonus message, you feel a deep stillness rather than excitement, if you feel grounded instead of overwhelmed, if you feel certainty instead of anticipation, that is how you know the activation is real. Because chosen ones do not feel frantic at the moment of transformation. They feel calm. They feel ready. They feel like something ancient inside them has finally come home. And that is the true sign that the 11-11 portal did not just open for you. You crossed it.